So, Ryan, champion of the Premier League. You've had a few weeks to get used to it. How special is it?
Really special. I think everyone as a young kid wants to win the Prem once in a life, and I'm happy that I think it was one of the most special days in my life as well. When we arrived with the coach, there were so many fans cheering for us, and also in the stadium, they were so loud. it was really crazy.
So what's that like as a player? The coach approaching Anfield and you see the red smoke, fans hundreds deep. What is that like, experiencing it from the other side?
Just give you a good feeling, the support what they give us to the whole season, and now at this game, I cannot describe it. It's hard.
Is there almost a split second from the celebrations that sticks in your mind, whether it's looking up to your family, joining arms with your teammates, listening to You'll Never Walk Alone? Is there one moment from it that really sticks with you?
Not one, I think a lot. Just from the moment we came with the coach to You'll Never Walk Alone, to after the game with everyone, just everything, to be honest.
What are you like in a moment like that? Are you a guy who kind of sits in the corner and just lets it wash over, or are you kind of leading the dancing?
Oh, you didn't? You was there, no? I was just cheering, man. I was the one dancing, so yeah.
Let's go right back to the start then. Arne Slot gets appointed as the new Liverpool manager. I guess the moment Arne's announced as the new manager, your teammates are in your ear. What's he like? You played against him. What can you tell us? Is there quite a lot of that?
Yeah. It was quite a lot of that. But to be honest, I didn't know. I knew him because I played against him, but I didn't know him personally. So it was also new for me when he first came in. So I couldn't answer the guys properly what he was like,
So I interviewed the manager a week or two ago, and he was talking about pre-season, and he put in a call to you. Yeah, and he said, come in early, there's things I want to discuss, which obviously we know now was at least partly about a change of position. Do you remember that phone call?
Yeah. I get this question a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, yeah.
I know.
It's the number 6 season for you, isn't it? Yeah.
That's the thing. But I came later from, because we had the Euro, so I came a little bit later, and he just gave me a call before I went to America, and he just discussed which position he sees me this season. So he saw me as an 8, but he wanted to try me as a 6, and he did try me as a 6. So
he did. So how did it work from that point onwards? When he says that to you, he sees you as an 8, but possibly 6. What are you thinking?
I was just thinking I just wanted to come into the team as a starting 11 player, and I wanted to adapt no matter where he puts me. So I was happy that he put me as a 6 and trusted me.
If on occasion, and it obviously hasn't happened that much because you won the league, but if on occasion you forget your defensive duties a little bit, who behind you is in your ear? Who tells you off?
Obviously the 2 centre backs, but if I have to pick one, it will be Fetch. Rio. Because sometimes I wanted to go forward, but we have to think, as a 6 you have to think about rest defense. So he organized that a lot, so I hear him screaming all the time where I had to be left or right. So
as a team, why do you think you're Premier League champions?
Because we believed that we could be it, and from the very first start that we started this season, I think we showed that we want to be Premier League champion.
So is that right? You believed before even that Ipswich game that you could do it? Because you guys within the camp must know this.
Yeah.
I looked through a list of about 40 pundits. Yeah. Do you know how many predicted Liverpool would win the league?
No one.
0. 0.
No one.
So what was it within the group the way you believed? Yeah, of course we can.
Because no one believed us. That's why we wanted to show that we could do it,
And that makes you more motivated?
For sure, 100%.
How big do you think the manager's contribution has been to it? 'Cause we talked a bit earlier in the interview that maybe you knew a bit more than some of your teammates, but you didn't know too much.
No, I know.
But actually working with him, what's that been like?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, he's a Dutch manager, and yeah, I like the training style because I'm used to it. You know, we do a lot of possession games and stuff like this, so I liked it. And I think the other guys they like this as well. You know, so he brought a lot of football into the team, and yeah, we have that kind of players. So yeah, it's really nice to work with them.
So you had that belief right from the start. You said even before that first game at Ipswich. As the season starts to progress, can you think of moments where that belief grew? I even think maybe third game, that performance you personally gave and the team gave at Man United. But what do you think? Were there moments where you really started to think, okay, yeah, we're seriously title contenders?
Maybe not one single moment, but I think maybe a few, like what you said, Manchester United game, also the Brighton game at home, because sometimes in the first half we didn't play as good as we want, but in the second half we changed the game, you know, and that was our strength this season as well. But I will say the Brighton game as well. Which one else? I think just the whole first part of the season, we did really good.
So early in your career, you've already played for three incredible, gigantic football clubs.
Yeah.
I look from the outside and often think of Liverpool being a unique city, a unique club. What's it like to be on the inside of a football club like this and to win for a football club like this?
I think if you was at the Tottenham game, you will see why. I think, yeah, these fans, this club, they deserve everything, and I'm really happy that we could achieve the Premier League this season with the fans, because they didn't win. They win it, but they couldn't celebrate it in 2020, I think. So yeah, it's been amazing to be a Liverpool player.
And does the history, when you're signing for the club, does it really mean something? Is it part of the attraction?
Yeah, for sure. What I said, my father was a big Liverpool fan, so when I was like 12, 13, I watched a lot of games with him, and yeah, he taught me about the special Anfield nights, and yeah, when I joined there, that's always in your mind as well.
We talked a lot about that number 6 position.
Yeah.
You've made the shirt your own. You've played virtually every game. That must give it like an extra special touch, being a champion, but being such a big part of it.
Yeah, of course. What you said, I almost played every game, every minute, and yeah, it just gives you a proud feeling that you have like a big part contribute to this title as well, you know.
You've said after Arne Slot came in, you're very excited, and obviously the belief was there right from the start. What about if I take you back a few more months to the January? You hear Jurgen Klopp's leaving, the guy who signed you.
Yeah.
What are you thinking there? There must be some, I don't know, worry, anxiety, just a bit of uncertainty. You don't know what's next.
Yeah, it was most that, and also a shock, you know, because no one expected him to leave. And then we had a meeting, and then he said he leave, and everyone was in shock. And after that, yeah, we were just, what happens now, you know?
I think you'd agree with this. Klopp laid these foundations.
Yes.
And Arne Slot built on top of what were really solid foundations.
Yeah. I agree with it. Yeah, Klopp made a really good team, and Arne, yeah, just the top of the ice cream, you know.
Right, Andy, let's go back to 2017 then. Youngish Andy Robertson signs for Liverpool. At that point, what are your hopes and expectations? What are you kind of dreaming, thinking might be ahead?
I think for me it was just to prove that I could play at the highest level. I think for me, obviously, I don't think too many people got excited about my signings probably within Liverpool. Some people might claim it, but I think they would be lying. But I did know that the people within the club were, believed what I could do. The scouts that brought me here, the manager, and yeah, it was up to me to then go and I think just try and prove to the world, I suppose, that I could play at the highest level. I could play, for one of the best clubs in the world, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to win trophies, of course, but that comes along with it. But I think for me, first and foremost, I just wanted to come in, find my feet, start playing games, and just prove to everyone that this was the level where I kind of belonged.
So, spinning forward again now, then, after all you achieved together in January of last year, when he sits you all down, tells the players that this is going to be his last season? What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
You know, maybe a couple of weeks before it, I think, you know, looking back on it, probably the lads that, you know, he'd probably made a couple of hints and things like that was what was going to come. So I think when I'd seen him and I'd seen the people that were in, I knew what was kind of coming. And I think then obviously walked in the change room and it was never going to be good news. Do you know what I mean? It was never going to be that, because in years have gone by when he signed new contracts and stuff, you know, we didn't even know. You know, it was just okay, everyone's delighted that he's staying. So I think we knew kind of bad news was coming, but he'd made it. We respected his decision, and it was just about trying to finish the season off as high as possible for him.
So for you, when was that sadness, disappointment replaced by a little bit of excitement as to what might be ahead? You know, when you hear Arne Slot's going to be the new manager, then you come in for pre-season, you see how he works. So when do those emotions start to change?
Well, I think we wanted to get to the end of the season for the manager that we were working under. You know, we wanted to try, and obviously we were still in the title race, and that didn't quite work out for us. We won the Carabao Cup, which was a positive, but the season didn't end the way we wanted to. But I think it was only really probably in the last week of the season that the excitement, because I think then obviously everything started coming out that it was going to be the manager, and obviously famously Klopp sang his name in the last day of the season. I think then the excitement started to build of, okay, this is going to be a new era. How do we all fit into it? How does it look for us? You know, when's the first chat going to be with the manager and things like that? And I think then that all quite quickly followed, and then all of a sudden you're probably watching a couple of the last fine-odd games of the season, which you probably wouldn't normally do. So yeah, of course you do that, because you want to know what he expects of you and what he expects of the team. And I think then obviously I had a chat with him during the Euros. He called me and we had a good chat, and he done that with, I think, all the, you know, more senior players as such. But it was very clear from the beginning of that he was a winner. You know, that's what came across.
How does that come across?
I just think he mentioned where we finished last season and what he wanted to do this season. You know, I think the opening line was, you know, we finished third last season, and I think you and me aren't happy about that, and we want to finish first next season. I think then that comes across to me as if he's a winner and he wants to come here and win. And then, you know, pre-season then about the meetings is all about how he's going to play, what he's going to do, how's he going to do it, and so on and so on. And I think then that all becomes clear. You know, I think for me, I was obviously injured in America, but it was crucial for me that I was in every team meeting. I was in every, you know, even individual meetings and stuff. Even though I wasn't on the park, I was watching most of the training sessions, just trying to take it all in. And although it was frustrating not being on the pitch, I think then I learned a lot within the first couple of weeks to then, you know, when I've trained, to try and implement that.
Do you have a moment where you thought, okay, yeah, this is going to be good?
No, I just think, you know, I think it was very clear from early doors that he had a clear plan, and now you never know if it's going to be good or not. You know, we can say it's good now because of how we've done it, but you always think we need to back this, we need to implement what we're doing, and if we do that, then it will be good. But his ideas were first class, and then I think, you know, he watches every training session back, and I think for us that was a bit of a, okay, well, you know, we can't show up on a, you know, Tuesday, even though the game's a Saturday, and just be a wee bit, you know, I'll get through this session, because you can't get away with that. He always showed, then the next day would show you clips of training, you'd be like, oh, okay, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And I think
you've had that as well.
Yeah, no, I think we've all had that. You know, he's maybe not said to me I didn't do it. I think usually I'm a bit of a better trainer than Mo. I'll claim that one. Not a better player, but a better trainer maybe. But you know, I think we were all very much on our toes in terms of, we knew him and his staff watched back absolutely everything in terms of training, games and so on. And I think then you knew you had to be 100% every single day at this club, which you should be anyway. But sometimes, you know what it's like. Sometimes you come in a day, you're a little bit tired, you're feeling a bit sorry for yourself or whatever, and you don't train to the standard you are. But we knew quite early doors that then that would get picked out. I think then when the manager comes in and he implements then his tactics and how he wants to play and how he's going to break down certain teams and things like that, then you go, okay, we really, you know, believe that sometimes we've sat in meetings before games and you're just watching what he's saying and you're thinking, there's no way we're getting beat today. You know, and that's the confidence I think he can give you with in terms of his tactics and things like that. Then it's up to us to have a winning mentality, a consistency, and I think we've done that really well this season.
Why do you think you got over the line this time? I mean, you've had so many good seasons where you've won in other competitions. Obviously, you have won the Premier League before as well. Is it almost reward for consistency? There's been a couple of seasons, but generally over a long period of time you've been there or thereabouts. Do you think almost this year is the reward for being there over a period of time?
Yeah, I do. But I think also this season, I think we've shown a level of consistency that no other team's been able to match. I think at times, obviously the league title was close, maybe at more the earlier parts, but we've been able to do it week in, week out, which no other teams managed to do. And I think that's what separated us, from the rest, effectively. People have had wobbles within the season. People have, maybe went in a 6-game run where maybe they've not picked up anywhere near enough points, whereas we've not done that. If we got beat, we would reset and we'd win the next game. Or if we drew, we would reset and win the next game. And I think that's what you always have to do. You always have to, if you get a knockback, you always have to get back on the horse and go for it again. I think we've been really good at that. Just hitting the reset button any time we've had a setback, which hasn't been often, which is a positive, but any setbacks we have had, then I think we've been able to reset quite quickly and then just go again. And I think that's what's probably separated us from the rest this season.
The day you won the title and got to share it with your supporters, I don't know, maybe from the moment you wake up, but certainly from the moment you step on that bus to getting your head down on the pillow at the end of the day, how special a day was that?
Unbelievable. I think, like you said, the moment we woke up, it felt as if we had a cup final. That's the way it felt. That was the feeling I had in my stomach when I woke up, and I know the other lads were the same. And I think, it was the longest morning ever. I just wanted to go. Do you know what I mean? I could have played that game at probably 8:30 in the morning, really. And I think we were all exactly the same, and we knew it could be such a special day. And then, obviously, then when we get on the bus and the scenes coming into Anfield was, just unbelievable. That's the best we've seen it. We've had some really good nights and really good days at Anfield, but that welcome into the stadium was the best we've had. And then there was nothing going to stop us. Obviously, we do go 1-0 down. It maybe affects it a little bit, but I thought we bounced back really well. And then it was just party time, and the fans were in fine voice. And after the game, it was just special scenes. You could see probably within the fans, obviously we won it in COVID, but I think the fans were letting out their frustration, their anger, their sadness, their happiness, everything in one. I think there was just so much emotion of how many years went by without us having the Premier League title at Anfield, and I think being able to clinch in front of our own fans was just the cherry on top. And I think the Crystal Palace game will be close to that when everyone sees the trophy as well.
Is it a club, the history of it, does it feel like it's got right under your skin?
Yeah, I think so. I think when I signed for the club, I knew, and especially my dad knew as well, obviously the Scottish background of the club. I think Kenny was, I think probably one of the first people I seen within the club was Kenny. I think they probably staged it a little bit, but I managed to see him, and then how many good Scottish players have played for this club now. I won't match them, but I think for me it was trying to, it's such a historic club, but it was then trying to be a part of a team that could make their own history within, such a historic club. And I think we've managed that. We definitely have managed that, and we've got a small part within such a successful club. And I think that's what we take a lot of pride in. All the lads that have been here for a while now, that we've added another Champions League, we've added 2 Premier Leagues now and things like that, and all the other cups that go along with it. I think that's what you want to do at these big clubs, and I think we've managed that. And for me to be able to carry the can for Scotland as well at this club, I think that that adds a little bit more to me as well.
So last one then, do you also feel a responsibility to pass on to the new players, to the young players, what it means to be a Liverpool footballer, what it means to win with Liverpool?
Yeah, of course. That's the key to it. It's easy. I think there's a lot of players in the world that have got the quality to play for Liverpool and other clubs as well, but sometimes they maybe don't have the mentality as well. And I think we're very lucky that the people that we've brought in, then the older lads can kind of help them, and they also, some of the players we brought in, the mentality to them is unbelievable, and they take it to another level. But it also takes a certain mentality to play with such a big club, and I think that's maybe the hardest thing. If you're signing with Liverpool, the club clearly think you've got the quality to play, you've got all the attributes to play, but it's then, do you have the mentality to play week in, week out at the highest clubs, to show that consistency and things like that. And I think that's what we always try and get across to the young lads, that it's okay playing one good game, but what we want is 5, 6, 7 good games on the bounce where you perform at the highest level. And to be fair, some of them just, they just kind of blow that out of the park, and they go, and like it says, like Ryan's a perfect example. He's probably had 40, 50 good games this season, and you just go, yeah, fair play to you.
Stop hassling you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But that's the thing, and I think that's, for our point of view, from the kind of older players' point of view, I think that's the message we try and get across to the young lads. And if new players come in, then the message will be the exact same for them as well.